how to visualize. So people come to me and we do hypnosis, and part of that hypnosis, they need to visualize, and some people don't know how to visualize, or there's even some people out there that don't think that they can visualize. And so visualizing is seeing with your imagination. And so there's more to visualizing than sight, but sight isn't actually a part of visualizing, because you don't visualize with your eyes and you don't see in the way that you see with your eyes, but you see that way in your imagination. So in order to see with your imagination, you're not looking through these eyes and looking at the back of your eyelids, because when you close your eyes, you look at the back of the eyelids and all you see is black or darkness there. Then you're trying to see with your eyes. But when you're visualizing, what was the color of your bedroom when you were 10 years old? Right? And I let people take a second to figure that out. And in order to get that, you actually had to get the picture of that. And there's a certain way that you access your memory of your visual memory. And so when you do that, you have to come out of the current state that you're in and go into a micro trance to go and look at that picture and come back with the answer. And how you come back with that, it could be any... We don't use words at the subconscious level. We use pictures and images, right? And so the words are something that we do when we translate and we bring it back. And so you may not have seen the picture, but the picture was presented to subconsciously, and what was delivered to you came out at the conscious level. And so what's the difference between conscious and unconscious? And right now you're listening to the sound of my voice and watching me on the screen here, and you're not paying attention to the feelings at the bottom of your feet. But as soon as I mention it, you shift your focus down to the bottoms of your feet. And while you're focused on the bottoms of your feet, you're not thinking about how your back is feeling pressed up against the back of your seat. And then even if you're paying attention to that, you're not paying attention to your breathing. And so when our conscious mind is that which we are focused on in the moment, and we can only focus, like say we're in a big warehouse and we're shining a flashlight around, and whatever we could see with the flashlight is all that we can see with our conscious mind in the moment. Everything else remains dark to us in that moment. And so visualizing is about being able to see that stuff, maybe at the subconscious level, and you allow it to happen at the subconscious level, because we are all either in tune with that or we're not, and everybody... If you do it and you practice visualizing it, then you'll see visualizing. See a pink elephant. And, if you know what a pink elephant would look like, if you could recognize what another person looks like, you have to have a picture of their face stored in your memory. And when you see them and recognize them, you compare them to that picture that you have in your database. Now, you don't pull that picture up consciously and visualize it with your eyeballs and compare that. It's something that happens in your mind at the subconscious level. And so when you're visualizing for hypnosis, say we're doing a past life regression, and you're telling me what you see, it might be what you feel, it might be what you know, because the picture comes up and you don't see it consciously, but you see it. You have the information, and and you can describe what's going on. Maybe you feel it. I'm a kinesthetic person, and so when it comes to this stuff and flying around with your eyes closed in the imaginary world, I really get the sensory, like the physical feelings of doing that, and the emotional stuff that goes behind that too. And there's some people that hear more, and there's some people that just know, right? So the information comes and they just know. And the only way it doesn't happen is if you decide not to. So this is like when you're trying to find something and you say, hey, I can't find my such and such, and you end up running around looking, I can't find my keys. Where are my keys? And so what you're doing is you're programming your mind not to see the keys. So even if the keys are sitting right in front of you, you won't see them. I did this with my phone one day, and I ran around the house 3 times, couldn't find my phone anywhere. And then I realized what was happening. And then I started asking myself the right question. How do I find my phone? And by the time I finished asking myself that question, I walked and moved and I actually saw the phone at the opposite end of the house. My vision focused on it because I said, how do I find my phone? And I used the right language in order to enable my sight to be able to see what I'm looking at, right? So all you have to do is to visualize, is pretend, and to focus on the ability to, the belief that you can visualize, and just allow what comes through to come through. And if it's words that come through, if it's knowings that come through, and you just allow your subconscious mind to relay what's going on, rather than blocking it with your conscious mind, well, that can't be right, or I'm not doing it right, I can't see. Well, as soon as you do that kind of stuff, you won't see anything, because you've set the intent there. But as you allow it to happen, right? And here's what happens, is that we all imagine that we can see. So your visualization is imagining that you can see. And of course, the more that you imagine that you can see, the better you can see imagining. It's what we do, is we pretend that we can visualize. And the more that we practice pretending, the clearer your vision will become. So if you focus your eye vision, then you'll just see your eyelids, and you think you can't see. So you just pretend that you see with your mind's eye. It's all imaginary. And so you can imagine seeing with your mind's eye. And the better that you can pretend, then the clearer your vision will come. So if you decide that you can't see anything, then you block your ability to see, and your sight stays low at the unconscious level. So you decide that you don't see anything, and you won't. Some people will even fight for the limitation and prove that they have a condition that won't allow them to see. And that's okay. They won't see anything. And there's nothing I can do to convince them otherwise. So beliefs are what create our reality. So if you decide to pretend that you can see, then you'll develop the ability to see. So if you get really good at pretending that you can see, then you will imagine it happening and get better and better at it. And whether you pretend or whether you actually see doesn't matter, because it's all imaginary anyways. So if you pretend that you see, you will get the same effect as if you don't see. So even if you can't see, pretend that you can. This is a pretending. That's what it is. And we're all here. We're master manifestors. We're here to create our reality. And so we create our problems too. And since we created them, then we can uncreate them. And that's why hypnosis and things like QHHT works. Whatever sickness that a person has, they created, so they can uncreate it as well. So we are the placebo effect. We are the master manifestors. We create our reality. So all you need is belief. And actually, you don't even need belief, because all you got to do is pretend that you believe. So if you pretend that you believe that you can visualize, even if you've got some sickness that says you can't visualize, and you just start pretending that you can see and that you can visualize, and you practice it, then you get the exact same effect as if you did actually visualize. So if you get really good at pretending to visualize, then you'll become a really great visualizer. So that's what it is. And you can use your other senses. It doesn't just have to be vision. You fill in the blanks with what you're not experiencing. So if you get the sense of knowing, and that's enough for you, then great. If you can hear things there, then hear the things. If you can taste or smell, whatever you can do it. And the stuff that you can't, fill in the blanks and pretend that you can do that. And then you'll find after a while that you become really great at pretending that you can visualize. And that's what visualizing is pretending that you can see. Right? That's what everybody does. They pretend, when they visualize, they pretend they can see. So what you're missing out on is nothing. You are just expecting something differently than what it is. And when it doesn't meet the criteria of what you think it is, then you think you're not doing it. But we all do it. We have to. It's part of the human, it's part of who we are. Imagination creates our reality, and we all create our own reality. So that's how to visualize. I hope that helps you out there and clarifies how to visualize. And I would start, if you're going to learn how to visualize and work with it, I would take where you are right now. And you can do this anytime, any place, wherever you are in that place. and look at what you got around. And then close your eyes and then visualize, whatever you've got to do so that you could remember that, oh yeah, there's a post over there, there's a screen right there, there's a microphone right there. I know that those things are all around there, right? And how do I know? I'm accessing my picture, my internal representation of how I'm holding that data. When I open my eyes and I close my eyes, I'm not looking with these eyes when I'm looking into my memory. I'm looking in a different place. And if you get into it and you actually look at people and you ask them stuff that needs them to look at their visual memory, you'll see that their eyeballs go up to the top, one side or the other, in order to retrieve the information. It's really cool watching people do that. And, so it works. So that's it. So that's how you visualize. So if you're going to be doing a past life regression, or if you're going to be doing meditation or hypnosis of some kind, that's all visualization. Just pretend you can visualize, and you will. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you give me the thumbs up and subscribe and all that stuff. And until next time, have yourself a good one.